Hello, and welcome to Coaching Corner with me, Tracy Forsyth. And today I want to talk about how to stop worrying and start living. So I have always been a worrier in one way or another. And I remember even as a tiny little kid, I'd be scared to get up at night because I thought there was someone outside my bedroom door ready to chop my head off. I mean, that's dark. I don't know where that came from. And then as an older kid, I had this wardrobe it had two little knobs for handles. So I used to wind a piece of string around those knobs at night to make sure that if there were any monsters inside the wardrobe, that they wouldn't be able to get out. And as I got older and into my 20s, I would worry about this, I'd worry about that. I mean, I can't even remember what I worried about. When I look back, I can't imagine that I really had anything to worry about. But we all have something, no matter who we are, where we are, what circumstance we're in. And that's what matters. Your worries are really real to you. So today I thought I'd share a book that has really helped me. I bought it in my 20s. Here's my copy. Let me just check that is there. Where are we? There we go. Hang on. There we go. It is called How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. It does what it says on the tin. And it is written by Dale Carnegie, who was the man who also wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People. So in my opinion, very, very wise man. So this book is his lesser known work, but I found it to be packed full of fantastic methods, to stop worrying and start living. And there's one that helped me, which is one of the very first in the book. And he calls it the magic formula for solving worry situations. And this is the formula. I suggest you kind of Google it or buy the book to really read it all through. But this is it in a nutshell. Step 1, analyze the situation fearlessly and honestly and figure out what is the worst that could happen to you as a result of this problem, this situation, or this issue. Okay, so for example, lose your job, lose my job, never work in the industry again, etc., etc. It might be that. It might be something like that. Okay. Step 2, after figuring out what the worst that could possibly happen is, reconcile yourself to it happening if necessary. So think of the worst thing that could happen and think, okay, well, if that happens, I'm going to reconcile myself to that happening. So I don't know, crying, experiencing great stress, selling everything that you have to own, moving, and then having to start again and figure out how to use your skills elsewhere. So once you've done those 2 steps, step 3 is from that time on, once you've got that worst case, what's the worst that could happen in your mind, calmly devote your time and energy into improving upon the worst that you are expecting mentally. So step 1, analyze the situation fearlessly and honestly, figure out what the worst that can happen is. Number 2, step 2, after figuring out what the worst is, reconcile yourself to it happening if you have to. And number 3, from then on, calmly devote your time and energy into improving upon the worst case scenario. So out of all his methods, and there are loads in this book, I found this to be the most helpful. And I guess, a useful summary would be, what's the worst that could happen and what would you do? So I'm not sure that would have worked with the monster in the wardrobe, but certainly for most of my worries now and since my 20s, that has certainly helped me. So I hope it helps you. And remember, if you do have worries, don't keep it to yourself. Don't worry alone. A problem shared is often a problem halved. So take care of yourselves. You are worth it. See you next week.